So in this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the mental frameworks I use to make sure I'm directionally correct. So I'm continuing to go in the same direction that I want to achieve all of my goals that I set out for myself. So the way I kind of look at these frameworks is like, I think of myself as like a subordinate, and then I also think of myself as a manager of me, if that makes sense. So I think, how would someone manage me? What would they do to make sure I keep going, getting better? Like, what would a manager say to me? And then I say that to myself. So that's kind of like the outlook I take on it. So I think like a good manager, like I'm not experienced in managing, I just know a little bit, and this is what I think. So I think a good manager would make sure accountable. So it's clearly defined like what is success or not, and like, is this what's expected of me? Is this what I need to do? And have I done it? So I achieve this not with any schedules or routines. I don't like schedules, they just haven't worked for me. What I do is I log every 30 minutes. So I wake up and go, I get my book out and it's like 30 minutes. What did you do for 10 minutes? Like vitamins, get dressed, drink water. Next 30 minutes, breakfast. Next hour, like it's 2 blocks of 30. And it's like workout. And I keep writing down 30 minutes. And then at the end of the day, you look back at that, or I look back at that and I go, oh, okay, so I spent too much time wasting time today. And you go, I'm disappointed with that. And you're like, okay, so change it for tomorrow. So change, make the change. Because there's no point in going, oh, well, I did bad and continuing to do bad. Otherwise, that's just stupid. So I'm accountable, so I write down. And what this also does is kind of rewards you a bit. Because in a schedule, I find if you write out the schedule, you just achieved minimum. Whereas when you write out what you did in a day, you see like, oh wow, I did all the work. You could have done the same amount of work, but it's just like, wow, I actually did this work. Whereas the schedule is like, oh, I didn't do enough work. Like you could have wrote out 5 hours of work and you did 4, and you can feel shit. But when you do your accountability, you write 4 hours. You're like, actually, this is directionally correct. This is good. So accountability, write out kind of like the half hour, what you're doing every half hour to continue on and what you're doing. Then I make sure to like reward behavior. So a manager will reward behavior and outcomes. And behavior is like when I uploaded a video with, I think it was Don't Give Up on Your Dreams. And this was a video like challenging like the mental side of it. Probably should have titled it better. But I kind of go, you know what? It didn't perform well, but I'm still happy I made the video. Why am I happy I made the video if it didn't perform well? Because it continued my consistent uploading. It means like since I've gotten back and since I started uploading, I've continued to upload. So I'm proud of the behavior of continuing to upload, even when the outcome isn't the best. And then outcome focused was when I uploaded Careful View Let Shape You, that got 53 views. I was pretty proud of that. So I was like, well done me. You should be proud of this. And I didn't say, I don't like go and gorge myself on cake or anything. Like when I say reward myself, I mean pat on the back, like this is good, this is why you'll be successful, this is good work. Like as a manager, recency beats potency. It's a kind of thing they say, and it's like a high five can be plenty if it's in the moment straight after, because it's like this is like the reward center. It's like it's easier to tie the link them together. So like take take a step back. If you were a manager and you were managing someone and they went ahead and did a great project overall, just high fives better than planning out this gift, because then their brain connects that high five, that reward, with what they've just done. Whereas if it was spread out more, it'd be harder to connect. So that's a side note. So that's the rewards, behaviors, and outcomes. But I do like clarify what's actually the problem. So I said accountability, and I said if you find a problem, like you go, I spent 4 hours on YouTube, then clarify what's actually the problem there. Is it the YouTube or what you spent your time watching on YouTube? Because if I spend 4 hours on watching a sales guide, or 4 hours watching this 4 hour guide on copywriting, or a 4 hour guide on marketing or advertisements or anything like that, I don't think that's a waste of time. But 4 hours on shorts would be. I don't watch shorts anymore, but as an example. And I think it's important to clarify it, because if you get it mixed up and go, oh, YouTube's the problem, then you can lose out on a lot of good learning potential. Like using YouTube poorly, that's bad. Using YouTube well to find good educational videos like mine, but like learning constantly, like that's a good use of YouTube. And that's what you want to be using it for. And you should reward yourself, go, actually, this wasn't work, but this was actually productive to help my work. And it's important to do that, because I remember one time I was like, I spent 3 hours on YouTube, and then look back and it was like, actually what I spent was learning about content, learning about marketing, or learning about branding actually. And that actually helped my future videos. So you need to clarify what's the problem or what's not the problem, or just be certain on what you're saying. Because if you give mixed messaging, you can actually do a lot of harm from that. You might go, well, I'm getting rid of all the negative stuff, but you're giving yourself like a lot of harm. And then I have this down as meetings with yourself, but that's just journaling and self-reflection. Like, am I doing what's required of me? Am I doing enough? Am I doing it right? And I guess you do that at the end of the day with your accountability and your rewards, and you're clarifying the problems. Just coming to yourself and going, okay, this is the issue. This is what I'm changing. Or going, you know what? I've had a good week today. Proud of myself. Or a good week today. A good week this week. And yeah. So another thing is, in management, you kind of go like values over rules. So like, you don't need to have a set of rules of what needs to be done, but if you set your valuable as quality or speed is king, then you reward people on those values, by the way, then you should follow those values and go, instead of having rules like, okay, every day I have to do this, and every YouTube video has to have 8 points in it, and every YouTube video has to have this much hours of research. If my YouTube videos is help someone, provide value, and that's it. Like, if I just go provide value, and then what is value, you can give yourself a definition of that, and it could be just like giving someone resources to help better themselves. Maybe that's all my videos are accomplished. And if every video accomplishes that, they're a success. Whereas every video needs to have this many hours of research, this many editing time, this many points in it, this many, like, it should be 12 minutes and 36 seconds in length. Like, no need for the rules, it's just the value and the providing. So every video, that's what I come in to do. So it's values over rules. So make sure I don't compromise my values and I continue to do them. And that's what I do. So let's see. Okay, so do what's required. So when I'm thinking about something, it's like, oh, I did my best today. It's like, no, you got to do more. Like, this is the standards we set. You have to follow them. And that's kind of like a manager would say, like, I know you're new, whatever. It's like, I know you're new here. I know you're not used to this, but this is what we do around here. I want you to bring you up to this level. I think you're capable of it. I just don't think you've done it yet. So like, I can say that to myself. I can be like, I know I'm capable of doing these things. I just haven't done it yet. I need to prioritize it. I need to focus more on achieving these. And that's like the do what's required. And then having like an actual mission focus, like, where do I want to go? Like, what direction do I want to go? It's like, what do I want to achieve? And then actually striving towards that, because as a manager, you can't critique someone if they're going in the wrong direction, if you don't know which direction you're going. So you need for yourself to have that direction, that idea of where you want to go, and go towards it. And then you have like a strategy on how to get there. So like, how do you plan to get there? And then how do you plan to fulfill that strategy? So like the tactics to fulfill it. So it's like, okay, this is what my strategy is. It's to provide as much valuable content to grow a business. And then my tactics to doing that is upload 3 times a week, learn on the side, learn marketing, learn sales, learn copywriting, develop a business, and create value on how to make this business better. And that's like the tactics to achieve the strategy, which achieves my primary aim. See how it kind of like builds up as like a pyramid, you know? And I'll end with 2 things. So one is how to take criticism. So when you get it from other people, because you can't always be your best manager and give you the best criticism. What you can do is, when someone gives you criticism and it's like, oh, that hurt, but it might be right. First thing is, I wanted this criticism, yes. I want to improve myself, yes. So I shouldn't feel bad about it. And you go, okay, that's step 1. And it's good because I'm not perfect, so it's good to be reminded and good to get better. So that's what you should be thinking when you get criticism. And then what also I do is, I take the criticism and I turn it into a compliment sandwich. So like, if I was a manager, this is how I give it to myself when I get criticism from someone else. So it'll be like, this was the problem, and I'd be like, you're doing this great. So, wow, I'm really proud of how consistent you've been. I think the value in this video is lacking, but I'm glad that but I think over the course of the past 3 months, you've actually made great progress. So I've got that consistent. So instead of like the value was lacking in your last video, like life to the heart. But if you go, I'm happy with the progress you've made. I think the video, and I think in the last video you could have added more value, but I'm happy with how consistent you've been. That's a compliment sandwich. If someone were to say that to me, and I could be like, okay, so that's how I take criticism. And something else, when you're faced with a problem, when you're like, what should I do? I think this is probably going to be the most value here. So pay attention right now. It's think of sending an email to someone, to a business person you admire, or anyone who you think is an expert in that domain. So I think of Alex Hormozi. So I go, okay, this is the problem I'm facing with my business or my YouTube channel, and I go, okay, I want to send Alex Hormozi an email. I don't actually send him an email, and I go, this is my problem. What do you think I can do? And then I think of his response, and then I just use it. Because sometimes you know the answer, you just don't want to confront it. I'm like, I remember in the beginning of my YouTube first episode, like I was thinking, oh, I should send Hamza an email so I can find out like what his script writing process is. Mind you, I'd like uploaded 2 videos and I hadn't even tried writing a script, and I don't really like working with a script. I don't think it works best. I like to have bullet points and that's all. Like, but I figured this out only after doing it. So I actually went, okay, so I can't email Hamza, but what I can do is think about it. And it's like, what would he do? He's like, well, he'd tell me to experiment probably. So I experimented, and then I came along my own solution as my own person for my videos that provide the best value, at least for now. And then for Alex Hormozi, it's like, if I sent him a message, an email, and he replied back, what would his reply be? He's like, here, Alex, I'm having difficulty doing this. He'd probably go, have you done enough of it? Or he'd go, actually, like, I don't know if he would, but it's like, the stuff I know is like, actually, you have the answers. You just need to come remember them or think of them. And it's like the E-Myth, the book, it's like, oh, Alex, I don't know. I don't have any good business ideas. It's like, you just have to be directionally correct. Like, you might know what business is going to work best. You don't have to. Just starting a business and running a successful business is better than not starting any, because you don't know which one's the perfect one. And then I'm like, shit, that's right. But that's all in your own head. So, key points: accountability to yourself, clarify the problem, reward behavior and outcomes, clarify the problem, behavior, outcomes, accountability, meetings with yourself, compliment sandwich for your criticism that you get, strategies and tactics to achieve your goals, a goal, a mission focus, and the email. Oh, probably shouldn't have put them in the finger up. The email. That's the most important one, I think. So that's how you stay directionally correct. I hope I wasn't too hyper in this. And yeah, focus on that. Hopefully I provided you with value. This is what I do. If it works the best for you, I don't know, but take what I say and adjust it to yourself. Because as you know from my last video, me and you are not each other. Weird thing. Anyway, hopefully I provided with value. If so, watch more stuff. If no, watch other stuff. Stay working hard.